Loss of habitat and overfishing have pushed the lake sturgeon to the endangered species list. These gentle giants have been around since the age of the dinosaurs, and thankfully research is underway to help ensure their survival. Divers can actually help as well by getting into the water with these fish and protecting the banks where they spawn. Freshwater specialist Kathy Johnson tells us more about efforts to save the lake sturgeon and how you can help.
We only have one or two populations that are still have access to the whole basin.
And it's mainly habitat destruction.
Mainly, yeah, loss of habitat is primarily, and overfishing, you know, those two combined.
How can divers help save them? And number two, how can divers get in and have a chance
and
to
have
swim?
that opportunity to see them, yeah, because it is an amazing thing to see.
For
So find your researchers, like, you know, contact research groups. There's Sturgeon for Tomorrow is a really great volunteer organization, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, Department of Natural Resources, all those groups are doing research right now. Most of them don't dive, so they really are desperate for video and anything visual that we can tell them that we observe and see is valuable to them. So that's a way that you can dive. If you can work with them, then they'll give you permission to get in the water and dive with them. So otherwise, they are an endangered species, and any time a species is reproducing, it's at its most vulnerable. A ripe female is full of eggs, that's caviar, and so she's worth a lot of money. And when they come into spawn, they spawn in some of the shallow waters and some of the smaller tributary rivers, and people can literally just almost grab one and take it. And so the Sturgeon for Tomorrow organization started with just a bunch of volunteer people who are willing to go out and stand on the riverbanks at night and just guard them, just make sure nobody poaches them and nobody takes them, so that they have a chance to reproduce and continue.
Why is it important that we maintain sturgeon?
Partly because they're one of the keystone species, so they are the largest fish in the system, but they are bottom feeders, so they're feeding off the smallest in the system, and so they literally cross the whole water column. And in that way, if you manage for, that's what keystone means, if you manage for that species and they're healthy, then your ecosystem will be healthy.